Welcome to the Leverage Show. This is Brett Ingram, and today I want to talk about you. I want to talk about how important you are as a business owner, because oftentimes when we own our own business and we run our own business, we're sort of our own last priority. We're the thing that gets taken for granted. We're the thing that really doesn't get to spend, any of the focus or attract any of the attention, because it's all about making things go for our business and for our company. And I want to share with you why you're the most important asset and some really important things that you really should start doing right away if you aren't doing them already. So you're the only asset in your business that has the ability to impact everything else, right? If you're not there, you might have somebody else who can do some jobs but you're the decision maker. You're the CEO, you're the captain of the ship. And so without you, the ship doesn't really run. So the fact is, it's really important to make yourself a priority. Now, if you're like me, you might think, well, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want it to be about me. This is really about my business. I don't really care. I'll worry about all of my stuff later. I'm not even talking about personal time and priorities. I'm talking about much, much more important things. Because the fact of the matter is, you're the most important asset in your business, and you're most likely the most overlooked asset in your business. And that's a really dangerous thing. If you had any other business, right? If you weren't the owner, but you were an investor and you were looking in somebody else's business, and you found that there was one particular asset that this business used to generate money, whether it was a machine or, a piece of software, whatever it was. And you recognize the fact that this thing wasn't being taken care of. Let's say it was a machine, because it's a really easy and good parallel example. And let's say that they run this machine all the time and they don't clean it, they don't oil it, they don't do anything. At the end of the day, they don't even lock it up. Now, if you were an investor in that business, wouldn't that make you a little bit nervous? I mean, you wouldn't want all of your money put there because they're not taking good enough care of it. Yet, that's exactly, as entrepreneurs and business owners, what we do to ourselves all the time. I'm totally guilty of this. I did this for years and years, where I worked ridiculous hours. I never took any time off. I always felt like I had to be the hardest working person in the place, had to be there before everybody, leave after everybody, never take any time off, never do anything for my personal life. And what I ended up finding over the years is that not only is that not healthy, but it's not even productive, because your productivity goes down when you're not taking care of yourself. Your self-esteem goes down. You start to not feel so good physically. You start to not feel so good mentally. So everything about it doesn't feel good. Now, sometimes that's offset. If your business is doing really well, if you're making lots of money, if your business is growing, you might in the short term feel much better about it. But mark my words, as soon as you hit a bump in the road, as soon as you hit a downturn where you're giving everything that you've got and you're not getting the results that you want, it's devastating. It's really, really demoralizing, and it's devastating. And then all of those other things start to creep in. You start to not feel so good. It's harder to get motivated. You don't really want to go into the office or do the job if you're working out of your house, whatever. And all of those things tend to go in cycles. And so you can reverse that by taking care of yourself up front, making sure that your best asset is your most valued asset also, and that it's taken care of. And then you'll have that energy in the tank. You'll have that resolve. You'll have whatever it is that you need. So in times that are good and in times that are bad, you'll be able to push through all your obstacles. And when times are good, you'll also feel a much greater sense of balance in your life. So let's just talk for a minute about some specific things that you may want to start doing right away if you're not. And I know the excuse, oh, I don't have time, I've been there. And I'm telling you, the only way you're ever going to get time is to make time for it and prioritize it. And you'll find ways to get other things done faster and more efficiently once you start doing it, because it becomes addictive. It becomes a great habit. So the first thing is really, really simple, and that is sleep. Now, for me, when I was starting off and I opened my first business, I was working, 12-hour day was a short day. Most days were 14, 16, sometimes 18 hours. And if you have to pull a day like that once in a while, that's okay. If you have to pull that type of day when you're at a deadline for something, that's okay. But you can't be in the habit of consistently doing it because you will burn out. There is no other solution. It's real simple. It's basic science. Our bodies are designed to work in a certain fashion, and they can work hard and they can work long hours and but they also need recovery time. They need rest time. And so just like anything else, if you're running it constantly and you're never stopping, it's going to break down. So it's really important that you get sleep. Now, you know your own body, and your own body will tell you exactly how much you need. I never used to get anything even close to 8. My average was between 5 and 6. But what I realized was I was getting really irritable, I was getting really grumpy, and I was having a very hard time motivating to do things on the tougher days, because everybody has the tougher days. And so I changed my habits, and now I sleep at a minimum 6.5, most of the time 7, and once in a while 7.5 or 8. And even though it's only an hour to an hour and a half difference in your entire day, which isn't that much, I can tell you that the difference is remarkable. I have a ton more energy. I feel better. My skin looks better. My wife had said to me at one point, your skin doesn't even look good, because I was just so run down and I was so exhausted that I just couldn't do it anymore. And so adding that little bit of extra sleep, so you're getting at least 6.5 to 7 hours a night, makes a huge, huge difference. Another thing is eating right. I love fast food and I love junk food. And one of the big problems is it's a deadly combination when you like that stuff and you're overworked and really busy, because you're not going to spend any time to hunt for something that's healthy, certainly not to make any lunches or food. And so the easy answer is just grab some fast food, go to the drive-thru, do what you need to do to get that food, because you've got to give something to your body. And again, I'm a big believer in moderation. I'm not a fanatic. If you have to eat fast food once in a while, you eat a cheeseburger, I do it too. But more often than not, try to eat something a little bit healthier. What I do is I think to myself, how am I going to feel after I've eaten? Is it going to matter to me whether I had a Subway sub or a cheeseburger or whatever? It isn't. Once my stomach is full, I'm just going to be happier that I ate something that doesn't weigh me down. Try to eat a little bit less. If you're in the habit of eating a lot till you're full and you don't, feel good, it saps all your motivation. So try to eat a little bit less. Try to eat a little bit healthier, things that are not fried and things that are not all processed foods. Drink a lot more water. I keep a habit of having a big 32-ounce mug on my desk all the time, filled with cold water. You could add a little bit of lemon or whatever if you like that. But if you have water, it's really good to flush your system and keep you healthy. And so just trying to eat a little bit better. Again, if you make a small improvement in each of these, it will make a huge difference on your overall life. Learn to relax. Take some time to relax. If you are in the middle of a really difficult day, or a really difficult stretch, or a difficult project, you'll find that your productivity starts to go down when you press too much. It's actually counterproductive to continue to try to power through it. If you need to go outside to the car so none of your employees see you, or if you need to go to the library so your family isn't yelling or knocking on your door, or whatever the case is, do that. But take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, set your little smartphone stopwatch or alarm and take a little nap. Do what you need to do to recharge the batteries. A 20-minute nap in the middle of a day when it's really stressful is awesome. It's so regenerating. I wake up after a 25-minute nap and I feel fantastic. I'm ready to go and tackle the rest of the day. It's much more productive than if I sat there staring at my computer screen for 20 minutes, not doing anything. So take those little moments to relax and do some things like that. Exercise. Now this is a big one, and if it's not something that you do a lot, I know that you're probably groaning right now, because the idea of thinking about exercising, when you're so busy, you're so overworked, you're so tired, how are you going to add this into your routine? My recommendation is that you do something really simple at first. I don't even care if you run, around the block once or twice or whatever to start. You can gradually build up. For my routine, I do weights in the gym, and I walk on the treadmill or on the stepper. I hate the treadmill. And I only do it for a maximum of an hour. The whole thing, 30 minutes of weights or 35 minutes of weights, 20 minutes of that. And I try to go 4 days a week. I take Wednesdays totally off. It's just a hardcore work day for me. Monday and Thursday, I do the same muscle groups. Tuesday and Friday, the same muscle groups. And I try to incorporate the cardio on those 4 days also. I take the weekends off. I take Wednesdays off. But that is enough to get me in balance. Now, if you need to get P90X or something like that to do it at home, that's fine. You don't have to go to a gym. If you don't even want to do an exercise routine and you just want to run a few laps around your block, that's fine too. But it's really important to start doing some exercise to get your blood pumping, get your muscles moving, and your lungs working. Because especially if you're sedentary in your job like I am, my business is very sedentary. I'm in front of the computer a lot. It makes a big difference to get out. And again, it's really rejuvenating. I try to do it in the morning, but some people like to do it at night. Some people like to do it at their lunch hour. Whatever works for you. But try to get in at least 20 minutes a day, 3 to 4 days a week. And then you can always up that to 40 minutes a day if you can get there. And then the last thing from a physical health standpoint, and this is one of my least favorites, but it's one of those necessary evils. Make your doctor's and dentist appointments. It's really, really important to take care of your body and to take care of your body in more ways than just what you can do. If you are over 40 like I am, get your annual physical. Go to the doctor. Make sure you do the full thing, the blood work, all that. I hate all that stuff. But I do it. In fact, I've just done it over these last 2 days, and I have 2 more appointments this afternoon. I'm knocking it all out in a week. I was at the dentist a few days ago. I hate it. But now I know after that, I'm good for a year. All I have is a dentist in 6 months, then I can wait a whole nother year before I see another doctor. But it's super important because if there's ever anything wrong, or there's ever anything that's potentially a source where you're going to be sick or getting sick, you want to take care of that stuff up front when they're minor issues and keep your health strong. Prevention is a lot more valuable and a lot more effective than a cure after the fact. So particularly if anything is nagging you, if there's anything that's bothering you, make sure you go. But even if there isn't, find a doctor if you don't have one and start going for an annual checkup, an annual physical, because it's really important to take care of your health in all of those ways. When you take care of the engine, when you take care of the biggest asset in your business, then your asset, yourself, you're able to take care of your business in turn. And you're able to grow it. You're able to focus on it. You don't have all these worries and anxieties and other things in your head. You're not always dragged down by lack of energy and all these other things. So follow through on those things. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. Your business needs you. So make sure that you do that stuff. As always, if you have questions, comments, feedback, anything we can cover on a future episode, please share that with us. And otherwise, until next time, make it happen.